Chapter 24, The Breach. The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. Psalm 9, verse 9. The car ride into town was thick with unspoken things. Ruthie sat in the back seat, spine stiff, hands balled tightly in her lap. On one side, Bear leaned into her leg, sensing the tension and grounding her with his silent loyalty. James' eyes didn't leave the road. Beside him, Naomi sat quietly, hands folded in her lap, her expression unreadable but her presence steady. No one had said the word police since breakfast. Ruthie had nodded her consent earlier, after Naomi had sat beside her on the weather-worn front steps, gently outlining the process. The paperwork, the risks, the limits of what the law could promise, what it couldn't. Now the town's police station rose in front of them, an unassuming building of brick and quiet authority. James pulled into the car park and turned off the engine. No one moved. They waited. For her. Ruthie's throat was dry. She reached for the door handle but hesitated. Her reflection in the glass showed a woman she barely recognized. Pale, tired, a shadow of the person she used to be.
"You're not alone,"
Naomi said softly without looking back. Just a statement, solid and still. Ruthie nodded once, then opened the door. Inside, the station felt sterile and too bright. A uniformed officer looked up from the front desk, eyes flicking over the trio. James stepped forward first, voice low and firm.
"We're here to report a domestic violence situation. Her ex, Dylan. She's ready to make a statement."
The name hit the air like the crack of a whip. Ruthie flinched. The officer's expression didn't shift.
"Come have a seat and we will see what we can do."
Ruthie followed him numbly, every step like wading through mud. The questions began without ceremony, each one careful, clinical, and piercing.
Have there been previous reports? What's the history of the abuse? Was it physical, emotional, or financial?
Ruthie answered, voice uneven. She gave facts, not feelings, bullet points, not stories. Just enough to get through. Her fingers twisted the hem of her sleeve. Behind her, James stood tall and tense, arms crossed, every muscle coiled. Naomi hovered to the side, her presence soft but alert. Now and then she rested a hand on the back of Ruthie's chair, silent reassurance pulsing through her fingertips. Each answer felt like peeling back skin. James's breathing grew heavier, nostrils flared. Naomi's eyes shimmered with unspoken memories of her own grief and rage flickering beneath the surface. Finally, the officer looked up from his notepad.
"May I take a look at your phone, ma'am?"
Ruthie blinked.
Why?
"It's routine.
He said.
Sometimes abusers leave digital footprints. We check for spyware, tracking apps, anything that might compromise your safety."
Her heart pounded in her chest like it wanted out. She hesitated, then offered the phone. The officer connected it to a computer. The screen flashed, then mirrored her device. Time seemed to slow. She hadn't texted Dylan. She hadn't replied to him. She'd done everything right, but fear didn't care about right. It bloomed in her chest, wide and choking. The officer scrolled, silent, methodical. Then he stopped.
"Did you install this app?"
He asked, pointing to a small icon on the screen. Something so ordinary-looking it barely registered. A nondescript cloud symbol. Could have been weather. Could have been a calendar. Ruthie frowned.
No, I've never seen that.
He tapped it. The app opened to a grim interface. GPS logs, movement patterns, time-stamped entries charting her every step. Not weather. Tracking. Her stomach dropped so fast it left her dizzy. The officer's face darkened.
"This is a live feed.
He said.
The app has been getting your location in real time and sending it to whoever installed this.
Naomi gasped softly. James struggled to control the anger rising inside of him, his hand clenching into a fist.
Want me to delete it?
The officer asked Ruthie. She instantly nodded. A few taps, and it was gone from the screen. But the violation lingered.
We'll file for an emergency AVO.
The officer continued.
That gives you immediate legal protection. You won't need to appear in court unless things escalate.
He paused, meeting her eyes.
If he breaches it, even once, you contact us immediately. No second guessing.
Naomi reached over and gently folded Ruthie's hand into hers. She didn't let go. The officer stood.
We'll handle the rest from here.
The door of the ute slammed with a heavy finality as they all moved back to the car. The cabin was silent. Ruthie stared out the window, Bear's fur warm against her leg. Then, in a voice like breaking glass,
He knew where I was.
Naomi turned, unwavering.
He doesn't anymore, and we'll make sure it stays that way.
They reached the farm just after 10. The day was still. Too still. James stepped out first. His boots hit the ground, but he didn't take another step. He froze. The front door wasn't ajar, it was wide open, gaping. A breath caught in his throat. His gut twisted, tight and hard like a warning. Something was wrong,
Stay in the truck.
he barked, voice leaving no room for debate. Bear leapt out beside him, alert and silent. The dog's head lowered, sniffing the air while James moved forward, eyes scanning every corner of the yard. No movement, but inside, carnage. Drawers yanked from their slots, the mattress overturned, plates shattered like brittle bones across the floor, books ripped from shelves, Ruthie's clothes strewn like confetti. It wasn't just vandalism, it was personal. James stood in the doorway, breath short, fists clenched. Naomi sat frozen in the ute, the blood draining from her face. Her instincts screamed. Something was wrong. Her hand flew to her chest, pressing hard, as if she could still the thundering rhythm of her heart. Then something inside her cracked. The fear wasn't just for Ruthie. It was her own ghost rising up, the shadow of everything she hadn't faced. Panic surged like cold water down her spine. By the time she caught her breath and turned, Ruthie was already gone. The door swung open behind her. Ruthie stepped onto the porch like a ghost, feet moving of their own accord. Her eyes widened as she took in the wreckage. Her safe place, violated. James was already on the phone to police while Ruthie stepped over the shattered porcelain, careful not to cut her feet. A book lay open near the window, its spine cracked, pages fluttering. On one page, black ink scrawled across the paper in furious strokes.
I know where you are, Ruthie. By the way, you mess up my house, I'll mess up yours.
No name, no signature. But there was no mistaking it. It was Dylan. Naomi stood just inside the door, a tremor running through her shoulders. Bear whined softly and pressed against Ruthie's leg. James lowered the phone.
They're on their way.
Ruthie didn't speak, but the message had already been received, loud and clear. And for the first time since she ran, Ruthie wasn't just afraid. She was furious.
Thank you for listening to this chapter of Healing on the Land. If this story has touched your heart, I'd love for you to come join me for the next chapter. You can find it here on this channel. If you'd like to support more Christian storytelling, you can purchase the full book or make a donation using the link in the description. Your support, no matter the size, helps us to continue writing stories of faith, healing, and hope. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. May God bless you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.